we're looking at something you might just call hurry up and wait. Is it me, or does everyone in this administration just think we are fine with just chilling and chilling and chilling? The VA backlash over those wait times, remember, compared it to waiting for a Disney ride, as if, and then the TSA, remember when they were talking about, look, I mean, we live in a dangerous world. You're going to have to get to the airport 3 hours early for that puddle jumper flight. And then the IRS, the backlash over slow return times, getting back to those who want to know. If we did the same to you, would you act the same way? The point here of joining these all together, my friends, is to say that they're very good in Washington about telling us that it's okay to wait and it's worth the wait. But is it? They've all got security clearances and passes. They never have to deal with this type of nonsense. We do. They never have to worry about the IRS coming down hard on them. We do. They never seem to have to fret much about, well, much of anything. We wait. It's worth the wait. When it comes to health care, it's worth trying a few hundred times before you finally can log on to a bureaucracy's website. That's all part of the fun. That's all part of the drama. That is all part of what the hoi polloi just have to do. Think about that. Think of the arrogance of that. And think about telling our vets that. You're waiting. Enjoy the wait. But, you know, my friends, there is a difference between a VA secretary talking about vets waiting for life and death care and you and me waiting, oh, I don't know, on a ride at Disneyland or Disney World. We're just there to have fun. Vets are there to survive. They're not having fun. The Washington Examiner's Sarah Westwood, former Army sniper Cody McGregory. Cody, end with you, begin with you. I find the dismissiveness over the top insulting. What about you?
The fact that Secretary McDonald would compare American heroes waiting in line to receive health care that we owe them to that of a family waiting to get on a ride at Walt Disney Park is completely disgusting, and it shows the real disconnect that takes place not only between Secretary McDonald but also senior executives at the VA.
You know, I was watching and trying to understand, well, there's always a method to someone saying something. I've said many stupid things. That might shock you, Sarah, but I'm thinking that to sort of say, it has been common in this administration and bureaucracies in general, that's just the way it is. But if they had to deal with the same thing, oh my God, night and day, right?
Right. I mean, the VA is really the only completely customer-facing federal agency, so its problems are exposed to the public in a unique way. But this kind of waste, fraud, and abuse exists at every federal agency, and the underlying problem is there's no accountability for these unelected bureaucrats who are wasting taxpayer money. And politics aside, the fix is these bureaucrats have to know that if they do waste taxpayer money and they don't provide their promised services, they'll be out of a job. And that's not what's happening right now. I mean, take a look as we speak in the House right now. The IRS commissioner didn't show up for a hearing looking at whether he lied to Congress under oath, and there's probably not going to be any repercussions for that on his end.
Yeah, but if you and I had ever done the same with the IRS or skipped out on an audit, I hazard to say, Cody, it would be a very different result.
Absolutely, Neil. And the veterans community has been waiting for accountability and choice ever since the scandal broke in 2014 when 41 veterans died in line. And everyone's been waiting for the leadership that Secretary McDonald had in the military and in the private sector to come in and fix the VA. Well, unfortunately, his leadership is AWOL. And it's so hypocritical of politicians in D.C., Republicans and Democrats, who instantly rush to Twitter or to Facebook to blast Secretary McDonald for what he said when they, in fact, have the ability to pass legislation to give veterans choice and accountability.
Brilliant point. Brilliant point. And you know, sir, what offends me most is this idea that, well, it's just accepted. But to say that the wait isn't the issue. The wait was the issue. When the secretary came on, that was the whole issue, to deal with the wait. The TSA problem right now is, what the heck is going on with the wait? The issue with the healthcare situation, what the heck is the issue with the wait to log onto a system and then the wait for the kind of care that was promised? All of this matters. Waiting matters. Lines matter. Sticking to your word matters. Preaching to people that it doesn't really matter in the scheme of things, at the end justifies the waiting means, is insulting to all who are waiting, right?
Right, and one of the biggest factors contributing to this is that bureaucracies under President Obama especially have gotten too big. There's too many layers of bureaucracy for these organizations to function efficiently. And it's ironic that these institutions come back to Congress time and again and say the problem is that we just don't have enough funding. If you just give us more money, if you let us hire more people, somehow this problem will resolve itself. And it's really the opposite. These bureaucracies need to have the fat trimmed, and that's just not something that's probably going to happen in this administration.
You know, Cody, I think of guys like you put it all on the line for us, and yet you're being compared to, you know, a big guy like me waiting on a line at Disney World for Pirates of the Caribbean, when it was your sacrifice that allowed me to wait on a line at Disney World for Pirates of the Caribbean. It is night and day.
It is, you know, and you can have the best health care in the world, Neil, but if you die in line trying to get it, it doesn't matter. And we've got a VA system right now that doesn't have to compete. They get the same amount of money whether they do 1 MRI or 1,000. If we start making them compete with the private sector, they're going to start delivering a better product and delivering better care.
Guys, I want to thank you both. Again, I just want to posit this to you and have it out there. When someone tells you that the wait isn't a big deal, that lines aren't a big deal, I want you to flip it around to them, Republican or Democrat, and say, all right, then, why don't you take my place in line here and see how that goes.